Nigerian women are the highest consumers of bleaching cream in Africa. 77% of Nigerian women bleach their skin. And when you think about it, it's like, you think back to this quote and you're like, you're really dividing us till today, you know? There's this hierarchy of beauty according to complexion where it's like the lighter you are, the better. Culturally, you know, in society, it's there. And I felt like this is another form of bullying, right? So if I basically shine some light on colorism in Nigeria, because it wasn't a topic that was talked about a lot. People knew that, you know, you could literally look at a dark-skinned person and you would say, oh, blackie, you know, and it was derogatory, it was offensive, but there was nothing to kind of define what that act was. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh yeah, it is what it is, it's blah, blah, blah. But then it was colorism and they didn't know what it was, you know? So with the documentary, I was able to kind of like shine some light on colorism and what it is and how it's affecting Nigerians and, you know, talk about bleaching and the effects of bleaching. And the whole idea was just to inspire people to love the complexion that they're in and appreciate themselves for who they are. And yeah, that was basically what inspired that movement. I mean, it came out on Netflix literally 2 weeks or so after George Floyd died.
Wow.
Naturally it blew up, you know. So many people watched it.
I remember.
Yeah, so many people watched it and the impact was insane. You know what I mean? I mean, of course I was at home. Couldn't do anything with it. But I was really like touched and empowered by the amount of people that were, you know, felt moved by this documentary and just the amount of lives that I was able to impact as a result of it having that global release at the time that it did, you know. And since then, you know, I've just wanted to keep that movement going. So again, I expanded and did another project called Skin Talk. It's not out. And I've also done, you know, events. I've done the Skin Brunch. I've done the Skin Summit. I mean, I'm doing another one this year. I'm expanding it to other regions.
You're talking about color. That's so
yes,
good.
exactly.
I love this because
I'm going to say something real quick. Because Ambi was around me.
Ambi?
Ambi was the light in Nigeria. They used the product Ambi.
Right.
AMBI.
Okay.
That was the popular skin lightening cream.
Wow.
And I would, like my auntie, whatever, I would see it. And I go, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And Ambi was around. It's an old product.
Wow.
Like, Ambi. And I was like, a lot of Nigeria, you would see it in some Nigerian's house. Like, oh, what the hell? There's that Ambi shit. And that was the skin lightening.
It's crazy.
And I wonder if the documentary changes the behavior, or is this so deeply rooted? Because I know, I'll tell you, even like for me on a personal side, and I think, you know, you're seeing the bleaching, you know, in Africa, but there's a different type of bleaching that happens here in the United States. And that is the shame that comes even now. I think even more people are more aware. Like and I love my black women. Yeah. My wife is biracial, so she's lighter skin. And just even the amount of, well, why'd you marry somebody lighter?
Right.
So that your kids wouldn't come out too dark?
No. That was never something.
People do that too, because I don't want my kids to come out too dark.
Yeah.
Albino.
That's self-hate right there.
Yeah, that is self-hate. For me, that wasn't a thing. But I will say that my standard of beauty was very highly influenced by the media that you watch.
Because
if you start looking at it, like I find this fascinating, and this is a really deep, good conversation, but you know, I think about like in my era, like when I was in that dating, right? Like light-skinned women were
more
really
desirable.
kind of like, were considered more desirable. Then if you look at some of like these ball players now, right, and these NBA players, right, they bolstered the Kim Kardashian look. And if you start looking at these guys, you're like, oh wow,
now they're
all dating some version of a Kardashian, so to speak.
Ambiguity,
racially
race,
the dark hair or whatever.
It's the same look.
And so you realize that the power of influence, because I'll get to like from some of my, you know, my good friends, like almost like it's personal, like, well, why didn't you date a dark skin or marry a dark skin woman? It's like, wow, you start trying to unpack that, and it's just like, wow, like, you know, it's no different than why do you want to wear those shoes that are in style, or why do you want to wear this fashion?
I always say it's not the preference that's the problem, it's the reason for the preference. Yeah.
And it's not the preference that's the
issue. It's the reason for the preference.
There is like fetishization, there is self-hatred, there is like, and you don't want to call anybody out, but I look at, there's a joke I do where I said, wow, the NBA is so light-skinned now. That's why it's whack. I said, there's not enough dark dudes anymore because there was Jordan, we had Xavier McDaniel, Clyde the Glide Drexler.
Hakeem, all of them.
That's why not a lot of guys don't go to the middle no more because light-skinned dudes bruise easy. So there's nobody, that's why there's a lot of three-pointers. Other than Steph Curry, who's light, but he's from black parents. Think about everybody shooting threes. It's very light skin. There's a lot of broccoli-headed, Drake-looking
Not
dudes.
broccoli-headed.
You know the broccoli-head style where they got the...
My son wears his hair the same way.
I said, I think, and this is me because I'm a crazy comic, but I said, I think there were a lot of insecure dark-skinned dudes in the 80s and 70s, and they said, I don't want my kids to suffer what I suffered, so they would get with white women or whatever. Now you have a very light-skinned NBA now.
Fair, and you got to think about the times as well, because like you said, in the 80s,
NBA stand for not black at all.
Wait, what?
No, he just...
I actually believed you.
Can you believe it's called
wait,
not
what?
black at all?
When you think about, society and the way we just kind of project a certain standard or image of beauty, it definitely affects how you view yourself. You know what I mean?
And everybody falls to it because it goes beyond, but it also speaks to this power of it. Like I find little things like when I'm watching, I love like watching the guys come out of the tunnel for football games or coming off the plane or whatever. Yeah. And you'll notice the sign of success is you got to have a Louis bag, you got to have a Louis belt, you got to have a Gucci something. Right? There's a particular way that you have to dress to show that I've made it. I'm a ball player. I'm like, where did this come from? It was an influence that just said, and so when you bring that over into race and think about how that was marketed, I'm going, oh wow, and I've dated women from all different shades, but when I think about that, I'm like, wow, so much of how I dated, so much of what I saw was based on the influence of what the standard of beauty was.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So I used to be I remember in college, my first girlfriend, she liked me or whatever. And there was a guy, another light-skinned guy was like, why does she like you? I go, why not? Because I was dark.
That's a crazy thing to say.
Like, but I'm better looking than you, dude. I mean,
not better.
But no, but there's
That's what you said?
There's dark. Yeah, I said I'm better looking than you. Your teeth are not as nice as mine. My skin's better than yours. But that to say as a dark person, say you're better looking than a light skinned person, like what? Yeah. And they could be ugly.
Problematic.
It's if you see a pretty dark skinned girl, it's like, and then opposites do attract. That's fact. Because there's light skinned women that like dark men. Yeah. And they're black women. They just go, I like dark men. Yeah.
I feel like we just also have to be careful with, when it comes to our kids as well, because
it's
our
very
children
important.
are always absorbing all this type of information. Like we had a part in a moment in our documentary where the little girl in the documentary was talking about the fact that the dark skin, I can't remember anymore, but something to do with dark skin in the documentary. And she was like, how that's not beautiful. And the light skin or the white thing, whatever we use, I can't remember the experiment anymore, was more desirable, more beautiful. Yeah. And she was a dark skinned girl. Yeah. She couldn't even understand why she felt that way.
Were they doing any of the doll experiments? The doll experiment?
Yeah, we had something similar to that, but it wasn't quite that.
There was one experiment, it's famous. It's now, I love it because it pops up on social media.
Yeah.
And they show these dolls, these faces, and they go to the darkest, and white kids, black kids, like, who's the meanest? Right. And they go, point to the dark. Right. Who's the smartest? Point to the white. And it's not true. But
it's happening
all white
everywhere.
It's all white, European, colonial. That it's in Asia.
Yeah.
It's in Asia. It's India.
Yeah.
What? It's in India. All brown countries have that. Even their advertisement is nothing but light people in this dark country.
There's no better time than now to drop in New Jersey, right here at the World Cup. 154 jersey, go get it.
Bringing Africa around the whole globe. Ain't no place like home. Ain't no place like home.